When I think about what it means to promise unconditional love, I think about a kind of commitment that isn't rooted in fantasy, perfection, or some idealized version of who either of us is supposed to be. It's a commitment grounded in reality, in the understanding that life will change, we will change, and the world around us will constantly evolve. And yet, despite all that movement, this promise stands still, stable, reliable, and unwavering. I want you to know that my love for you won't be limited by the conditions of the moment or the challenges of our circumstances. It won't disappear when things become difficult or unpredictable. If anything, it will grow stronger. Because real love isn't about finding the perfect situation, it's about choosing each other every day, even when the world feels chaotic. I want to love you in a way that gives you the freedom to be entirely yourself. You won't have to shrink who you are, quiet your personality, or pretend to be anything less or more than the remarkable human being you already are. My promise is to love you without expecting you to fit a mold, follow a script, or meet some invisible standard. You are not a project to be completed. You are a partner to be understood, appreciated, and supported. And I want our connection to be a space where authenticity isn't just welcomed, it's celebrated. Unconditional love, to me, also means being present in the long-term vision of our lives. We may not know exactly what our future looks like, but I promise that I will meet each chapter with you, side by side, with a steady mind and an open heart. There will be days when everything works flawlessly, when things align, when our plans succeed, when the path ahead seems clear. And then there will be days when nothing makes sense, when we question our next move, when we experience setbacks or disappointments. Through all of that, I want my love to be something you never have to question, something you can rely on even in the moments when nothing else feels certain. I also want you to know that this promise doesn't mean I expect perfection from myself. I will make mistakes, I will get things wrong, I will misunderstand, overthink, or fall short. But unconditional love means I remain committed to learning, improving, and understanding you better every single day. It means choosing patience over frustration, clarity over assumptions, communication over silence. It means not giving up when things get complicated. It means actively building the kind of relationship where both of us can grow, not just individually, but together, in sync, evolving in a partnership that strengthens us rather than limits us. And even more than that, unconditional love means supporting your dreams, not because they fit into mine, but because they matter to you. I want to stand with you as you pursue the things that ignite your curiosity and spark your purpose. I want you to know that your ambitions aren't obstacles, they're part of what makes you the person I'm proud to love. I won't hold you back. I won't ask you to shrink your future to fit my comfort. I want to amplify your vision, not contain it. I want us to be a team where we push each other forward, where our individual strengths combine to create something powerful, something bigger than what either of us could build alone. So when I say I promise you unconditional love, I'm not just talking about emotion. I'm talking about action, consistency, intention, a choice made every day, with clarity and conviction. A love that doesn't fade when life tests us, but instead becomes the anchor that keeps us grounded. A love that adapts, that grows, that refuses to break even under pressure. And I want you to carry this with you always. No matter what comes our way, my love for you will remain the one constant you can trust fully, deeply, and without hesitation. When I think about gratitude for your future presence in my life, it's a strange but beautiful feeling being thankful for someone I haven't fully met yet, someone whose story is still unfolding somewhere out there. But that's the thing about certain connections. Sometimes you feel the gravity of them long before they arrive. And I already feel the weight of yours. Not in a way that pulls me down, but in a way that anchors me, that reminds me that life isn't just about the goals we pursue or the milestones we chase. It's also about the people who walk beside us, who make the journey meaningful, who turn the pursuit of something great into something deeply human. I'm grateful for you even now, in all the versions of you that exist before the moment we finally intersect. I'm grateful for the experiences that shaped you, the challenges that strengthened you, the dreams that drive you forward. I'm grateful for your resilience, your curiosity, your courage qualities. I may not have witnessed firsthand yet, but I know you carry, because the person I imagine sharing a life with is someone built from depth, intention, and heart. And even if you don't always see those strengths in yourself, I already do. There's something powerful about anticipating a future partnership with someone who will not just fit into my life, but elevate it. I don't mean by changing who I am or reshaping anything about me, but by adding dimension, balance, and clarity. I'm grateful for the balance you'll bring to the moments when I get caught up in ideas, when I disappear into the horizon of what's possible. You'll remind me of the importance of presence, of grounding, of appreciating the moments that aren't measured in outcomes or achievements. And I hope I can offer you the same, in return, a steady presence when life gets overwhelming, a reminder that you don't have to carry everything alone. I'm also grateful for the shared future we'll build, even though it exists right now only in imagination. I'm grateful for the conversations we'll have, some light and easy, some deep enough to reshape the way we see the world. I'm grateful for the quiet moments, the ones that don't need to be impressive or monumental to matter. The simple routines, the small rituals, the everyday choices that slowly form the life we'll share. Those are the moments that create the foundation for something lasting, and I cherish them even before they arrive. Gratitude for you also comes from understanding that love is not a guarantee. It's something incredibly rare, something that requires timing, openness, and vulnerability. And the fact that our paths will eventually align, that two entirely separate worlds will find a way to meet that alone, feels like something worth appreciating. It feels like something to protect, to value, to recognize as extraordinary, even in its simplest form. I'm grateful for the support you'll offer, not because you're responsible for holding me up, but because I know you'll choose to, and I'll choose to do the same for you. Gratitude grows from choice, from intention, from the awareness that love isn't owed, it's given freely, willingly, wholeheartedly. The future version of us will be built on those choices, moment by moment, day by day, and I'm grateful for every step we'll take together. And maybe what I'm most grateful for is the fact that you'll allow me to love you not just with emotion, but with effort, clarity, and consistency. You'll give me space in your life, and that's not something I take lightly. Your trust, your presence, your partnership, these are gifts I will never overlook or take for granted. So even now, before our stories merge, before our lives intertwine, before the world decides it's time, I'm thankful for you, for who you are, for who you're becoming, and for the future we'll build from the moment our paths finally cross. And when that moment comes, I'll meet it with a heart fully aware of the blessing you are. When I imagine the life I want to build with you, it isn't some perfectly scripted storyline or a flawless picture that never cracks. It's real. It's dynamic. It's something alive, constantly growing, evolving, reshaping itself alongside us. I don't want a future built on expectations that box us in. I want one built on possibilities that expand as we do. And when I think about you, my future wife, my partner, in every sense, I imagine a life where both of us feel free to dream, to create, to explore, to fail, to rise, and to reinvent the world around us together. I picture a home that isn't defined by its walls or its size, but by its energy, by the sense of belonging we create in it. A home where ideas flow as easily as laughter, where curiosity is normal, and where we challenge each other, not because we're trying to win, but because we want to grow. I want our home to be a place where we think boldly, love deeply, and live intentionally. A place where peace isn't quietness, but clarity. Where support doesn't mean taking over, but lifting each other up, so we can both see a bit further than we could alone. There will be moments where we take big risks together, maybe not always in the literal sense of rockets or grand ventures, but in the personal sense of choosing paths that push us out of comfort zones. I want us to be courageous enough to take those leaps, and grounded enough to know that even if we fall, we'll fall together, and we'll rise stronger. The life I envision with you isn't passive, it's purposeful. It's a partnership where we bring out the best in each other by staying aligned in values, even when our dreams diverge in details. And I imagine us building a culture in our relationship, one where communication isn't treated like an afterthought, but a skill, a priority, a shared responsibility. A culture where we don't just talk about what's going right, but also about what's difficult, uncomfortable, or uncertain. I want us to be the kind of couple that treats problems like puzzles, not battles, where the goal isn't winning an argument, but understanding each other better than we did the day before. I picture a life filled with shared adventures, but also shared quietness, mornings where we're sipping coffee in silence, nights where we're planning our next big move, and weekends where the only task is simply being together. I want the extraordinary moments, yes, but I also want the ordinary ones, the ones that seem small at first, but accumulate into the heartbeat of our life. Those moments matter just as much as the milestones. And I want us to build a future where we support not only each other, but also the world around us. A life where we contribute, innovate, and give back in ways that reflect who we are. I want our partnership to be more than romantic. I want it to be impactful. I want us to amplify goodness, to invest in what matters, to leave something behind that lasts longer than we do. Not because we're trying to be impressive, but because doing meaningful things together is one of the deepest forms of connection two people can have. I imagine a life where we keep choosing each other consciously, consistently, and without hesitation. A life where loyalty isn't just a promise, but a daily action. A life where love doesn't stagnate, but expands, adapts, evolves, becoming more profound with every challenge, every triumph, and every season we experience together. So when I think about the future I want to build with you, it isn't about perfection. It's about partnership, about possibility, about creating a life that feels like both a sanctuary and a launch pad. A life where we don't just exist, we build, we dream, we love, we elevate. And when our future finally becomes our present, I want you to know this. I'll be all in with my mind, my heart, and my whole life. When I think about you, your worth, your uniqueness, I'm reminded that real value isn't measured by how loudly the world recognizes someone, but by the depth of who they are when no one's watching. And the truth is, I don't want to love you for the things that are obvious, the things everyone else can see. I want to love you for the things that someone has to look closely to. Appreciate the layers, the nuances, the small details that reveal the incredible person you are. Your worth isn't defined by any title, achievement, or expectation. It's defined by your character, your heart, your perspective, and the way you move through the world with qualities that can't be replicated. What sets you apart isn't something you put on like an outfit, it's something you carry naturally, without effort. The way you think, the way you care, the way you respond to challenges, not by shrinking away from them, but by finding strength you didn't even realize you had. That resilience, that ability to bend without breaking, to rise even when the odds aren't in your favor, that's the kind of uniqueness people underestimate until they see it up close. And I want to be the one who sees it up close. I want to be the person who recognizes your quiet strengths, your hidden brilliance, the qualities you might not even realize are extraordinary. I appreciate the way you'll bring your own world into mine, your interests, your stories, your quirks, your passions. Not because they mirror mine, but because they broaden my understanding of life. I don't want a partner who echoes my ideas. I want one who expands them. Someone who challenges me when I need to be questioned, supports me when I need grounding, and inspires me simply by being who she is. I want to appreciate you in a way that makes you feel seen, not just for what you give, but for who you are without having to give anything at all. Your uniqueness is something I want to protect, not reshape. You're not meant to fit into someone else's vision. You're meant to shine in your own. I want to make sure you always feel safe doing that. Safe being expressive, safe being bold, safe being wrong sometimes, safe being emotional, safe being powerful. You won't ever need to filter yourself with me. You won't need to downplay your intelligence, your kindness, your ambition, your intensity, or your softness. All of it matters. All of it is part of you, and I will appreciate every piece of it. I want to appreciate the way you see the world, those subtle insights, the way you notice things others overlook, the way your intuition guides you. There's a kind of wisdom that doesn't come from books or instructions, but from experience and awareness, and I know you'll carry that with you. I want to learn from it. I want to learn from you. Because part of appreciating your worth is acknowledging that you bring something to our life together that no one else ever could. You are irreplaceable, not because you try to stand out, but because being yourself is enough to do that. And I want to be someone who reminds you of your worth on the days you forget it. Someone who reflects back the strength you underestimate, the beauty you overlook, the brilliance you might second guess. I want to be the voice that quiets the doubt, the presence that reinforces your confidence, the place you return to when you need to remember who you are. Not because you need validation, but because everyone deserves to be reminded of their light when life tries to dim it. Your uniqueness isn't something I admire from a distance. It's something I'm ready to build a life around. A life where you never have to question whether you matter, because every day I will show you that you do. A life where your presence is not just appreciated, but honored. A life where your individuality is not just accepted, but celebrated. And I want you to know this with absolute certainty. You are extraordinary, and my love for you will always rise to meet the magnitude of who you are. When I think about commitment, real commitment, I don't see it as something static or ceremonial. I see it as something alive, something that grows with us, learns with us, adapts with us. And when it comes to you, to us, I want that commitment to be rooted in the idea that we're not just promising to love each other where we are right now, but promising to evolve, to expand, to become better versions of ourselves, both individually and together. Because a relationship that doesn't grow eventually outgrows the people in it, and I never want that to happen to us. I want us to build a partnership where growth is natural, not forced, where we don't try to hold each other to old versions of ourselves just because they feel familiar or comfortable. I want us to support the person each of us is becoming, even when that means learning new rhythms, adjusting expectations, or letting go of habits that no longer serve who we want to be. Growth can be uncomfortable. It can stretch us, challenge us, disrupt the patterns we've become used to. But I want to walk through all of that with you, not because it's easy, but because it's meaningful. There will be times when we push each other, not out of pressure, but out of belief. Times when we see potential in one another that hasn't fully surfaced yet. And I want to be the person who doesn't just tell you what you're capable of, but stands beside you as you step into it. I want you to feel supported in your ambitions, even the ones that scare you a little, especially those, and I want the same from you, a partnership where we both encourage each other to keep learning, keep discovering, keep challenging our limits. And growth doesn't just happen in the big moments. It's often in the small decisions, the daily conversations, the moments where we choose honesty over convenience, understanding over defensiveness, curiosity over assumption. Those small choices accumulate. They become the architecture of a healthy relationship, built brick by brick through intention, patience, and humility. I want us to be the kind of partners who take responsibility when we fall short, who apologize without ego, who listen without interrupting, who learn without resisting. That kind of growth isn't glamorous, but it's essential. I also want us to grow together in the sense of building a shared vision, aligning our values, our principles, the things that shape the foundation of who we are. We don't need to agree on everything. In fact, disagreements can be valuable if we approach them with respect and curiosity. What matters is that our core remains aligned. Honesty, loyalty, purpose, compassion, and the willingness to show up even when life gets heavy. If we can grow from the same foundation, we can build anything, no matter how ambitious or unpredictable. But I also want to grow individually, not in a way that separates us, but in a way that gives us more to bring back to the relationship. I want you to have your own passions, your own successes, your own evolution, and I want to celebrate those achievements with you. Not take credit for them, not compete with them, but honor them as part of the person I love. And I want the space to do the same, knowing you'll support my growth with the same trust and enthusiasm. When two people grow individually and still choose to grow together, that's when a relationship becomes unstoppable. There's something incredibly powerful about knowing that we won't remain the same people year after year and choosing each other anyway, again and again, with every new version that emerges. That's the kind of relationship I want with you. One that doesn't fear change, but welcomes it. One where we don't just survive life's transformations, we evolve through them. And as we build this life, as we grow side by side and step by step, I want you to always feel certain of this. I am committed to becoming the person our future deserves, and I'm committed to growing with you in every season, with every challenge, with every breakthrough, until our love becomes something even evolution itself can't outrun. When I talk about loving you deeply and faithfully, I don't mean it in a poetic or exaggerated way. I mean it in the most grounded, consistent, day-to-day sense. The kind of love that doesn't waver depending on circumstances, moods, or whatever storms life decides to send. I mean a love that is constant, not because it's effortless, but because it's chosen with intention. A love that isn't fragile or reactive, but resilient. A love that doesn't disappear when things get hard, but actually becomes stronger because of the challenges we face. Loving you deeply means I won't just be present in the highlight moments. I'll be there in the quiet ones too, when the world is overwhelming, when you're tired, when you're unsure of yourself, when life feels heavier than expected. I'll be there not just as your partner, but as your steady place. The one person you never have to perform for, never have to impress, never have to explain your worth to. You'll have the freedom to be vulnerable, to be imperfect, to be human and still be loved with the same intensity and clarity every single day. Faithful love, to me, isn't just about loyalty in the traditional sense. It's about emotional loyalty, mental loyalty, the loyalty of choosing you again and again, even in the moments when life offers distractions, doubts, or easier paths. It's the kind of loyalty that holds firm because it's built on respect, deep, unwavering respect for who you are as a person and what our relationship means. You won't need to question my commitment. You won't need to wonder where my heart is or if it's divided. My heart will be anchored in us, fully and without hesitation. Loving you faithfully means being transparent, honest, and intentional in everything I do. It means communicating openly, even when the truth is uncomfortable. It means working through misunderstandings instead of avoiding them, and protecting our relationship from anything that could weaken it, not by controlling the world around us, but by strengthening the bond between us. I want you to feel secure, not because I promise perfection, but because I promise integrity. And loving you deeply means celebrating you, not just your successes, not just your strengths, but the entirety of who you are. I want to recognize you in ways the world sometimes forgets to. I want to appreciate the kindness you show when no one notices, the courage you carry in silence, the dreams you nurture even when they feel far away. I want you to know that being loved by me means being fully seen, not just in your brightest moments, but in the ones where you feel dim, unsure, or overwhelmed. I'll see you, I'll understand you, I'll love you anyway, and even more. There will be seasons where life tests us, moments when we're stretched thin, moments when stress or distance or uncertainty tries to pull us apart. But loving you faithfully means meeting those moments with clarity, honesty, and commitment. It means not retreating into silence, not withdrawing affection, not allowing fear to dictate our connection. It means holding your hand not out of obligation, but out of love, and walking through whatever comes our way as a unified force, together. And loving you deeply also means giving you the reassurance that you don't have to earn my love. You don't have to be flawless or endlessly strong. You don't have to carry the weight of the world alone. My love will be a partnership, not an